Here's a non-specific but very compelling use case. Users want privacy. Well, this may sound simple, but if you dig into it, you actually quickly recognize that this is quite a complex problem to solve. But what does that really mean? So people tend to avoid apps that send private personal data to the cloud. They expect fast responses. They often need features offline as well. They like apps that respect privacy, obviously, and they value apps working instantly and anywhere. But here's the good news. At WWDC 2025, Apple said you can now use our foundation models on iPhones. And in May, earlier this year, we heard from Google saying that we can now use Gemini Nano offline on Android phones. You check documentation, you test a sample, you see it works, and you realize I can now add AI to my future apps without using any servers. And this is sort of a big deal because many people are not really comfortable with sharing their personal data with cloud service providers, as I mentioned earlier. And in some use cases, people are not even able to use AI solutions due to the privacy concerns based on the use case and the problem that they actually have. All these things sound great. But, phone, are you ready to summarize my notes offline? I thought so as well. You may now develop such apps that enable people to utilize AI models offline on their phones. But this doesn't really mean that people can use these apps on any phone starting from today. There are still a number of people who still use an old iPhone 7, like myself. So if you want on-device AI capabilities on your device, you will likely need to upgrade your phone first. Otherwise, there's going to be a high risk that you will overheat your phone very quickly. But here is what works right now. Foundation models on iOS and Gemini Nano on Android. Both free. They cover summarization, rewriting, and search. If you are not developing native apps and relying on cross-platform solutions like Flutter, you will need Swift or Kotlin bridges in your implementation to make things work. And Google also recently previewed Gemma 3N, a mobile-first multimodal model available via Google's AI Edge. It can run locally on modern flagship Android phones with enough RAM and NPUs, offering better performance and quality than earlier on-device models, but only on capable devices, otherwise falling back to lighter models on older hardware. And here is what doesn't work yet. Very large models offline remain slow. Older devices may lag, custom niche models still need extra work to optimize. So running large models on the phones is not an option, at least as of now. But with the available solutions now, what can you actually make for an app? Well, a note summarizer, photo captioner, a personal fitness coach, offline translator, pretty much any use case where people would appreciate a high level of privacy while still being happy with the performance of these smaller models that we can use on the mobile phones. Privacy-focused use cases are not a secret for anyone actually. Finding the right distribution channel will still remain as the biggest challenge, at least in my opinion, especially for solo developers with no marketing budget. But here's the deal. We are still in the beginning of a long journey. While it is somewhat troublesome to run AI models locally on existing phones, this is not going to be an issue, at most in a few years. Do you remember how fast the transition was from 3G phones to 4G ones? I can imagine that this shift is going to be even faster. And as things are getting easier to develop, now I'm not saying that you can easily create reliable commercial products just with vibe coding, but things are certainly getting easier in the world of developing advanced products. I'm pretty sure that we'll be seeing even more companies with 1 or 2 employees only generating millions of dollars in revenue. And I am very excited about on-device AI models. Both Google and Apple had great news lately, and I really don't think it will stop here. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!